In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble my wooden or MDF cover. Now this cover is designed for my Adventure Awaits mini album, but the same process will apply to any of my wooden covers. These covers are 1/8 of an inch thick. This one is made out of MDF, so we need to keep that in mind when we put our spaces between our pieces. In order to perfectly space my pieces, I'm going to be using my 1/4 inch acrylic spacer. I do have these available for sale. I will link this down in the description box below. If you have previously purchased these spacers from me, you'll know that they come in a set with an 1/8 inch and a 1/4 inch. I usually use the 1/8 inch because I'm using chipboard, but the 1/4 inch is for my wooden covers. If you don't have a spacer, you can use a ruler or a scoring board to do this as well. The cover comes in 3 pieces. You've got your front cover, your spine piece, your back cover, and then the flexible hinge. This is wooden. It does flex so that it can curve around and come up onto the front of the book. But you can pull this apart and you can break it. So you want to be very careful with this piece when you're handling it, that you don't want to damage it. What I'm going to do is actually leave some of the wood grain look on this project, but I'm going to darken it. For me, I'm going to be using walnut stain. I possibly might use some vintage photo as well for some lighter areas, but I think I'm just going to leave this MDF color and then add a little bit of walnut stain. I'm going to go around the edges and I'm going to darken some areas too. I'm going to take my time and layer up the color until I like it. Now, I'm not going to do this on camera since it is not assembling this. It's not part of the assembly process. I just wanted to let you know that that's what I am going to be doing. You can ink this, you can paint this, you can use markers on this, watercolor paints, texture paste, all kinds of stuff. So however you would want to prepare this, or you can leave it plain. I've also just added my decorative papers on my covers in the past in other albums, so it's completely up to you. I'm going to go ahead and ink those edges, and then I will show you how to assemble this cover. Now, once my pieces are inked, I'm going to go ahead and turn them over to the inside. I've also inked the inside edges as well, and you'll notice that I didn't ink the centers because they're going to be covered with paper eventually. Now, my spine piece here, like this design is continuous. Not that you have to leave it like that. It'll be perfectly fine if you don't. It's going to have connector pieces over it anyway, but it is designed where it matches, so if you want to keep that intact, you can. Now I've got my pieces in order: front cover, spine, back cover with the wrap, and I've got my 2 hinge pieces. These measure 1 1/4 by 8 inches. I've scored these at 1/2 and 3/4 inches on both pieces, just as a placement guide, but I'm also going to be using my spacer. So if you don't have a 1/4 inch spacer, you can use score lines, and you can also measure to do this using a ruler. Now to start, I just added adhesive to one of those 1/2 inch sections. I'm going to turn it around this way, and I'm going to set it on, or I'm going to set the cover, I guess you should say, down on this piece. Now I can see the score line, so I am keeping my piece actually just slightly to the left of that score line. I don't want it to be over that score line and be too small, because if this gap is too small in here, then that will actually cause my cover to not open correctly. It'll actually crack. So once I have that on, I'll go ahead and burnish it down. And then this, just so that you can see this a little bit better, on that score line, it folds right on to that cover, right where it is. Okay. Now I'm going to take my adhesive and apply it to the second 1/2 inch area. I'm also going to use my spacer here, so I'm going to place my spacer in that area, in that 1/4 inch gap, and then I'm going to place my spine piece right next to my spacer. That'll line everything up, top and bottom as well. And then I can remove that and burnish this down. Now, if you don't have a spacer, you would just use that score line and make sure that your piece is just to the right of that score line so that it doesn't go over into that area that we need to be free. It needs to be 2 times the thickness of our material so that it doesn't crack. Next, I'm going to take my second connector piece and apply adhesive to one of those 1/2 inch sections. Then I'm going to take this piece and put it on the other side of my spine, using that score line to place it in the correct position. And again, making sure that the score line isn't covered up and that my spine piece is just slightly to the left of that score line. Now I'm going to take my adhesive and apply it to this second 1/2 inch section on this connector piece. Using my spacer, I'm going to take my back panel piece and set it right down on here, making sure that everything lines up with the spacer at the top. If you don't have a spacer and you're using your score line to do this, I would sit a ruler either at the top or the bottom to make sure everything is lined up nice and straight. That'll be your guide, because if the top and bottom pieces are not lined up, your cover will be off and not close correctly. Now the next thing I need to do is to cover my spine and these 2 pieces here. Unlike the chipboard covers, I need to actually accommodate for the thickness of my material, my MDF here, because it is significantly thicker. So I've made this piece, my spine is 2 1/4. I made this piece 4 1/4 by 8 inches, and I've scored this multiple places. So on my scoreboard, I scored this at 1/2 inch, and then at 5/8, 7/8, and 1. Then I came over here to 3 1/4, 3 3/8, 3 5/8, and 3 3/4. So what that does is it gives me 1/2 inch tabs on the ends, and these 1/2 inch tabs are going to be on the covers. Then I have an 1/8 inch on either side that's going to go down on the side of that, in the inside of that crease. It's going to be 1/8 of an inch to get down the side of that cover. And then there's a 1/4 inch space for that gusset, and then another 1/8 of an inch to get up to the other side, and then it's going to go across that spine piece. So essentially what's going to happen is I have a piece like this. Hope you can see this here. It will sit right down in that fold, and then I have to fold up on this one. So we're going to be creating like little U-shaped tracks so that it will lay in that little gusset here. Now, once I have that one, I need to fold back on the next score line. And now I should have that track here. I've just got to get it to lay in there straight. There we go. Once it's in there, you'll be able to push it to both sides and it's going to be like this. So there is going to be that 1/4 inch gap because that's what's going to allow these covers to meet perfectly without ripping. So I want you to go ahead and take your time and go ahead and fold your papers on your paper here on both sides so that you have this like U-shaped track. Here is what my piece looks like. Yours should look similar. It has these 2 tracks. And I'm going to apply my adhesive first to one of these 1/2 inch tabs here. And then I'm also going to be applying adhesive to the little 1/8 inch edge and the track with the 1/4 inch as well. And then onto this side here. I'm not going to do the whole thing at once. I'm just going to do this one section at a time. Once I have that glued, I'm going to go ahead and set this down. Going to use my bone folder to press this up against that edge. I'm going to set this piece in here too so that I know it's in the correct position. Use my bone folder to get this all adhered together. So I'm basically burnishing this paper up against the edge of my cover on the cover and the spine, and then in this little gusset too. So I don't want to put that in there now that there's paper. Use my ruler to give me the better ability to burnish that. And then I can go ahead and fold this up here. And now I'm going to apply adhesive to the whole rest of the piece. Once my adhesive is on, I'm going to go ahead and carefully tuck this around my spine and onto my cover. And then I'm going to start with the spine section, adhering it down. And then I'll take my bone folder in here and just wrap it one section at a time. Now that my paper is on, I'm going to let this completely dry before I touch it and start bending it, because what I do not want to happen is I don't want these 2 papers in here to separate and pucker. So I want to make sure that they are adhered and dry before I start bending this into a book. What I am going to do is come back in here with a little bit of ink though, and I am going to ink these edges to match the edges on the rest of my book. And then eventually when I turn it over onto the front side, because I have that wood grain, I might actually take a pencil or a fine line brown marker and draw some of those lines onto the cover again as well. Just depending. So we'll see once I get this turned over. I am also going to ink down this side here and here, since that will be potentially visible just slightly. There will be paper on these areas, but so that it matches the rest, I am going to ink that too. Now, while I was waiting for the inside of my cover to dry, I took one of these Micron pens, and it's like this brownish red color, and I just made some lines. I connected the ones from the spine and just connected some of these and just made it flow. You can do this, you don't have to do this, whatever you prefer. So I just went ahead and added some lines, and then I added some of my stain over top of it to try to blend it in a little bit and make it look more like a continuous wood grain instead of seeing that cardstock completely plain. So once I have that done, now I can come in here. This should be dry, and I can go ahead and bend this up here. And then I can take then bend this up to the spine as well. I'll take my bone folder and burnish this. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side of the spine. I'm going to push the paper over the spine, and then I'm going to push the paper over that back cover. And I'll use my bone folder to crease this here. So I want to make sure that I've got movement there, and then you'll see that 1/4 inch piece there. And when I pick this up, what you will see is that spine will sit in there. Or if I want to, I could have it sit this direction as well. So now I've got my cover like this, and it's ready to go. Now, when your cover is like this, you want to be very careful with this. So what I would recommend is taking something like one of these little clips, clipping it together. This is what I usually do, and leave mine. You can put 2 of them on it if you have to. And I will just leave my cover sit like this somewhere where it's not going to get banged up or broken, because this piece, again, is very breakable if you hit it on something or stretch it too far. So that is what I would recommend doing, is just leaving it for now. If you do store your cover flat, I would recommend sticking something inside of it. A lot of times I'll put like a punch or something in there just to hold it so it's in this same shape, or you can lay it completely flat and open it up. I hope you have found this tutorial to be helpful to you in seeing how easy it is to assemble one of my MDF covers. I have a variety of covers available on my website. I will link this specific cover down in the description box below, but there are several other options for you to choose from if you are looking for a different size cover in making an album. If you have any questions regarding this tutorial or how to specifically make this cover, feel free to leave me a comment and I will try to answer that question as best as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, happy crafting.